Now, the former Israeli ambassador to the United States. Ambassador, always good having you. Obviously, you've heard from everybody and his uncle, it would seem, about what Israel should and should not do. From the White House, what you should not do is going after those nuclear facilities. Some even saying it would be dangerous to go after oil facilities because oil will rocket worldwide if you do. In other words, limiting what you can and cannot do. Do you think Israel should pay attention to that?
Good morning, Neil. Always good to be with you. Israel's going to do what Israel has to do to defend ourselves. Neil, we're in a war of national survival. We're fighting a war on several different fronts, all against Iran. This is, the head of the snake, the head of the octopus, whatever being you want to compare it to. None of this is going to stop until Iran is made to pay a prohibitive price. And up to this point, Iran has paid no price, certainly not from Israel, but not even from the United States. Iran and its proxies have fired at American forces some 200 times in the Middle East. Iran has stopped shipping through the Mandab Straits. This is Iran is the cause of vast, unspeakable damage, suffering throughout the entire Middle East. So Israel is going to do what Israel has to do in order to ensure our security and indeed our survival. And everything, Neil, every target remains on the table.
I do notice as well, Ambassador, to your point about the concerns about Iran. I know Israel has plenty of concerns, but so do countries like Saudi Arabia, even the United Arab Emirates. I mean, without saying so, their quiet response to everything that's been going on probably says volumes. What do you make of what they're thinking?
I think they are very quietly rooting for us because they have to be. These countries are facing twin existential threats themselves. One comes from Shiite extremism in the form of Iran and Hezbollah. The other from Sunni extremism in the form of Hamas, ISIS, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda. There's one country in the Middle East and one country only that's in the Middle East standing up to both of them. And if we win, and we will win, against Hamas and Hezbollah, then the chances of peace will greatly, greatly expand. I hate to sort of paraphrase John Lennon, but if you want peace, you got to give war. And they are rooting for us to beat these people and beat them decisively.
Now, the issue then becomes what happens after this response, because it seems like a very dangerous game of tennis. Then it's back in Iran's, court, what it's going to do to respond to Israelis' counter-response to what they did. And back and forth we go. How long do you see this going on and on and on?
It's going to go as long as it needs to go long until Israel assures its survival, until the Iranian regime internalizes that trying to hurt the state of Israel anyway, trying to kill Jews, trying to literally destroy us. And by the way, their leaders come out every single day and say the goal of this regime is to destroy us, to destroy a sovereign state. Until that stops, we're going to have to continue. And we are a very tough and resilient society. We've gone through an awful lot in our 76 years of independence, and we'll get through this as well. And we've defeated enemy after enemy, because at the end of the day, again, we have no choice, and there's clarity in that. And we draw tremendous strength from that, as well as strength from our sense of history, and that in the land of Israel is our ancestral homeland, and we have come home to this ancestral homeland not to die, but to live and to thrive and to defend ourselves.
It's very well put, Ambassador. I did want to get your take. Obviously, I follow money and markets here, so I don't want to be so crass about that. But if you can indulge me here, oil prices have gone up about 10% this week on these heightened tensions. They could rocket all the more if oil facilities are hit. To that point, we've learned that Iran has repositioned a number of oil tankers and tried to hide them. I don't know how you hide an oil tanker, Ambassador, but they're doing their best. But when I was speaking to Israel authorities, including Danny Danon a few minutes ago, they made it clear, we know where those tankers are. We know where those facilities are. And I'm wondering if that is part of their thinking, to hit Iran where economically will really be painful. Now, the flip side of that is it could be painful for the world if oil prices shoot up and stay up. But what do you think?
Well, I think that, again, that all options are going to be on the table here. Nothing is off the table. And certainly Iran's oil industry and its facilities are vulnerable. And yes, they know where they are. I just recall back in 1988, President Reagan sent the U.S. Navy to strike those oil facilities after the Iranians were firing at Kuwaiti tankers in the Persian Gulf, Operation Praying Mantis, if you remember this.
Right.
And they sunk half the U.S. Navy sunk half of the Iranian Navy, and guess what? After that, the Iranians stopped. They stopped. And so again, that unequivocal message has to be sent to Iran. Keep up all the evil, and you'll pay that prohibitive price. And that's what Israel has to do. That is our job in the coming days. And I think that again, at the end of those days, we have no choice.
Ambassador Michael Oren, very good seeing you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.